Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking The Real Housewives of the OC, Season 16, Episode 3. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. So Shannon goes to her doctor's office for some sort of laser treatment and she invites Noella. While she's there with Noella fills us in on some of the things that have been going on in her life. We find out that via surrogate, she has had a few miscarriages. We find out that her tiny baby James, who's 2 years old, was just diagnosed with autism. And she seems to have handled his diagnosis well. You know, she says that she's very proud to have an autistic son and that it's all about her learning as much as she can about autism in order for her to be a really good mom. And he seems to be extremely adorable, and I think that he's gonna be just fine. She is definitely trying her best as far as, you know, being a good mom to him. And I'm wishing nothing but the best for her and baby James. We then find out that Sweet James, which it turns out Sweet James isn't as sweet as we thought. But anyway, we find out that Sweet James has got some issues. Now, you remember episode 1 when Noella was showing us the homes they own, the jet, the cars, the good life, and how she's a stay-at-home mom and she, you know, sleeps all day and then just gets up and gets her hair and makeup done and she's out on the town. You know, she's living this woman a leisure lifestyle. It turns out that Sweet James has told a few lies. She tells Shannon that she found out after he lied to her that there are a couple of liens. You know, the IRS is after them for a little bit over $5 million. And she wants to know, you know, why can't they just sell their home that they purchased 7 months ago in Puerto Rico and pay the IRS back? She says that now she feels that she just can't trust James. And I said, wow, this is a lot. Things have changed from episode 1. I mean, Noella is very open. She tells us about this almost $6 million tax lien, her miscarriages, her son with his autism diagnosis, and the property in Puerto Rico, and this sex dungeon. I said, Lord have mercy, ma'am. You have told us everything. You have given us at least 3 seasons and 3 episodes. Girl, okay? You are the official MVP of New Housewives. Oh my gosh. I also forgot that she let us know that she is bisexual. I mean, Noella, girl, listen. Welcome to the Housewives and thank you. Now I know why you have the orange and not Nicole. Noella is really broken up about this situation with James. She says that she's always thought that she could trust him and he's always been her best friend, and now this trust has been broken. Shannon does thank her very much for supporting her at Heather's party. She says that she really did think that she could trust Gina and Emily, and, you know, she had no clue that they were going to turn their backs on her until this story. You know, to Heather, right in the middle of Heather's party, and she actually thought that her and Heather was going to be able to start over fresh and fix their relationship from there. She asked Noella if she knew how Nicole was feeling about the situation, and Noella tells her that she doesn't think it's anything serious. She's pretty sure that they could handle this and get past it over a nice lunch. You know, personally, I do think that Heather was wrong for being in Nicole's business and telling the girls about this lawsuit. However, at the same time, Heather told the girls about this lawsuit in confidence off camera, and they both promised her that they would not mention it on camera or to Heather, and they both lied, and they did mention it, they did bring it up, and they did cause a scene, and I think that they are just as much to blame for this as Shannon, if not more. Then we see Gina having a talk with Travis.
You're gonna like sneaky propose to me?
Are you expecting a sneaky proposal? Is that why you're
No,
bringing
I
this
mean,
up?
obviously I'm not.
In my mind, we have lots of time.
So romantic.
I think it's appropriate to be content.
I don't like being a girlfriend at this stage in my life. Like, I'm a little embarrassed to be like, this is Travis, my boyfriend, when I'm like a grown woman and I have 3 kids.
Listen, I totally understand where Gina's coming from, but Travis sounds like he is really enjoying getting that milk for free, honey. He does not seem as if he is about to propose to you, period. Maybe you can use that for storyline for season 17. Then she has the nerve to tell Travis that she is mad at Shannon because Shannon said that she couldn't trust her and Emily. And, you know, she's pretty much blaming Shannon for the whole situation that went down at Heather's. First of all, Shannon is absolutely right for saying that she can't trust the two of you because both of you threw her under the bus. And none of this would have went down at Heather's very expensive $36,000 dinner if you had kept your mouth shut. Just be quiet. You were not friends with Heather and you didn't even know Nicole until that evening. So I don't understand why you felt the strongest urge to let Heather and Nicole know what was going on. You and Emily are doing too much, but I understand you trying to hold on to those oranges.
It's been bothering me lately because Heather told us that Shannon told her that, like, she shouldn't trust Emily and I. It's like she just wanted to separate Heather from everybody.
She likes to control things.
Trying to control a situation that she's already up bad. Even at Heather's, Shannon just kept trying to, like, put it on me. And that, like, really hurt me because I'm like, this woman who I've been a friend to, who I'm clearly trying to do the right thing, like, that really bothered me. Like, I'm really, really upset with Shannon.
You know what we're not going to do here is pretend as if Gina is the victim. Gina, you are not the victim. That was a nice party. They had sushi. You know, they had all the champs you could drink. It was a whole lot of food there. Other ladies you could have talked to. It's a whole lot of things that you could have been distracted by. But you chose to march over there and tell Heather as if it was just burning a hole in your poor little heart. You had to share it with her. You had to let her know, girl, bye. There's a place and a time for everything. That was not the place nor the time. And that was not showing your loyalty to Shannon as a friend. I thought 2 episodes before that, you were the Trace Amigas. We love each other. We're best buds. Nope, I guess not. Once you saw Heather's house, the best buds was out the door. Shannon, your house could fit inside of Heather's house. Gina is not here for it. I'm just saying.
Oh, Heather, I hope all is well. I feel badly about the way things ended between us the other night.
Okay.
I would like to continue the conversation if you are open to it. Please let me know if you are free this week. Heart emoji.
I mean, what's to continue?
I wrote back. Shannon, I am surprised I'm just hearing from you now, but I don't care to adjudicate your behavior over the past few weeks via text, nor do I have time in my schedule to listen to more of your rhetoric.
No, I mean, seems to me that...
The point isn't so much what you said, since there's nothing to hide. It's that you would pass on information that could be twisted and could have hurt my husband, his career, and thereby our family.
Well...
Oh, and please spare me your supposed intentions. It's your actions that matter, and they are indefensible and inexcusable.
Right.
I sincerely hope you have reached out to Nicole to apologize for humiliating her and spreading private information from 20 years ago that was none of your business. Heather.
So...
And then she wrote me back. She said, I'm sorry you feel that way. My apology is genuine. I'm sorry, there was no apology in her text.
You're gonna keep the door closed to her?
It was Terry for me. Terry kept trying to jump in the conversation and this text just goes on and on. You know what? Heather, you're coming off as mean girl. Did I appreciate Shannon being read for filth? Yes. Shannon storms the door can really irritate me. But listen, you forgave Nicole. This woman has been your friend for 6 years. She has smiled in your face for 6 years and did not tell you. Shannon said what she said and she should not have. So I can understand you being a little upset with Shannon. But it was Gina and Emily who brought the problems to the house. I don't understand how it's all on Shannon this time. And I would have to say to Terry, the door is closed. Let it be closed. And can I also say they showed the previews at the very end and it seems as if Heather is threatening Shannon on the next episode. Maybe she's threatening her with a lawsuit or something. And I would say, you know what? Calm down, Regina George. Seriously, what Shannon said was said off camera and it was true. So what exactly are you gonna sue her for? I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that you're threatening her with a lawsuit. I don't know. Stop it, Heather. Goodness. Noella and Gina go out for cryo, and they're barely in the door before Gina says, well, I saw the news about your husband's tax problems. You want to talk about it? Or something like that. I might be paraphrasing. Gina, girl, you just met her. I thought that was so inappropriate. But of course, Noella is so open. She was right. She was quite ready to talk about it. She tells Gina that she doesn't know why her husband won't just pay for it. She says they're definitely having a serious communication breakdown. She knows that if he sells the house in Puerto Rico, they could just pay the taxes out flat and be done with it. I mean, while she's talking to Gina about this, she breaks down and she's just crying. She says that she's really hurt by this and that her husband is her best friend, and she just feels so torn. She doesn't understand why this is happening to them, why he lied to her. And then right after the cryo thing, she goes into telling Gina about this sex dungeon. And I said, Noella, really?
But I was crying so much that it's just like I wanted to go
I was
away.
like
No, it's a
picturing
sex
like
dungeon.
bars and
There's
like
a couple.
weapon, like
Not like little
whips
floggers.
and-
Little, there's
Okay.
a little swing.
Oh my God.
The way I felt was the way the woman from the cryo place looked. She thought, what are you talking about, ma'am? And is this appropriate? I'm just saying, everybody doesn't have a sex dungeon. I was thinking, would I have a sex dungeon? Sure, why not? Move it on. So Gina calls Shannon and tells her that she is really upset about how things went down at Heather's house, and she wants them to meet up to talk about it, which is great, fine, whatever. I just don't understand why you're so upset. You know, are you upset with your own actions? Gina seems to forget that she's the cause of all of this, especially the whole uproar. Noella, Nicole, and Shannon go out for lunch.
And I'm going through a divorce, as you know, and I know what it's like.
Divorce isn't even on the table.
No, not that you.
You can tell that she really loves her husband, and she's used to being a stay-at-home mom, and she likes the situation that she is currently in. But this trust situation is a major problem. Now, when Shannon arrives at this lunch, it was very awkward. I mean, if looks could kill, Shannon would have dropped dead, hit her head on the side of that table, and been laid out before the waitress could get over there with her Belvedere and soda water. I mean, Nicole was looking vicious at Shannon.
I will take full blame for it because I shouldn't have trusted and I shouldn't have said anything.
I understand where you're coming from, and I can see it, Shannon, when you look at me, that you're sincere. I'll tell you, I forgive you.
Thank you.
Do you think you're going to talk to Heather?
I did, and I reached out asking her to get together.
I don't care to adjudicate your behavior over the past few weeks via text, nor do I have time in my schedule to listen to more of your rhetoric.
She has no interest. I'm owning my part. Is anybody else owning their part?
The answer is absolutely no. No one else is opening up and taking responsibility for their part. Nicole is not taking responsibility for her part because Heather and Terry are fine with her. They don't care that she's never mentioned to them that she sued Terry. Emily and Gina, they're walking through this as if they haven't done one thing. It is not their fault that Emily brought up the situation in front of Nicole and Dr. Jen. It's not Gina's fault that she told Heather all of the information. No, everything is your fault, Shannon, because you told them off camera. To me, the only problem with Shannon is, one, she should never have told Nicole's business. If she wanted to talk about that, she should have talked about it with Nicole. Number two, she should have never trusted Emily and Gina. Shannon has known Emily and Gina long enough to know that those two girls are not to be trusted.
What's happening?
Somebody came to serve papers, divorce papers, in Puerto Rico.
Wait, what?
And it's all in Spanish. Fortunately, our nanny was able to translate. He shut off the credit cards.
Oh my gosh.
I'm lost.
Honey, listen, Sweet Jim is a jerk. Who sends his wife divorce papers from Puerto Rico just out of the blue like that? It's absolutely crazy. She was just at lunch saying that they are not getting a divorce, that she still loved him and that he was her best friend. I felt really sorry for her. And I was wondering, man, what is she gonna do? She said in the first 2 episodes that she has always been a stay-at-home mom. Her life is totally wrapped around Sweet James. And, oh, that is unfortunate. And that is something that my mom taught me growing up, that never depend solely on a man. My mom has always said that. She always said, make sure you have your own money. Make sure that if anything happens, you can move when you need to move. You know what I mean? Because you never know when a man is just gonna up and go. You know, have any of you heard of shoebox money? Even if you are married to a rich man, you always need to have a little shoebox with money in it in the closet. He doesn't need to know about it. A little shoebox account at the bank that he doesn't know about. I'm sorry. And vice versa, because if you are one of those women of leisure whose husbands pay for everything and take care of everything and they're in charge of everything, you never know when they might decide that they're through, they're done, and up and leave. What do you have? If you have not gone out and created your own source of income, you should at least have stashed some money somewhere. I'm just saying. Honey, listen, you need to always think this dude could walk out at any time. I need to have a backup plan. You know what? I want to believe that when I get married, it's going to be forever. But there's no guarantees, and you best believe that I will still be independent and I will still be stashing cash. You are not about to leave me with nothing. Nope. Gina and Shannon meet up for lunch. Now, honey, listen, the first thing she does is share Noella's information. Did she give you permission to share with Shannon? Does she know that Shannon already knew this? To me, that's another way of Gina showing that she's not trustworthy. Luckily, Shannon already knew the situation and they both decided to call Noella and invite her out to lunch, you know, so that she can get her mind off of it, have a drink and think of something else, just to give her a break from her sadness. So while they're waiting for Noella, Gina and Shannon talk a little bit about the situation that went down at Heather's house.
I felt that you and I and Emily were having a moment, and you know, I wanted to believe the friendship and we have each other's back.
I didn't do anything to hurt anybody.
But you did.
No, I didn't.
1 minute
I didn't do
before
it to hurt you. I didn't do it to hurt Heather.
How do you
Do you want to know? The day that I found out my husband was having an affair, he brought me to the woman's home.
You know what? I've gone out of my way to be kind. I know
You shouldn't have to go out of your way to be kind to people. I don't go out of my way to be kind to people. I'm just kind to people. And by the way, you went around to Heather and you told Heather, me and Emily can't be trusted. So why are you giving?
Well, first of all, I think that Gina is absolutely gaslighting Shannon. And I also want to say that this has nothing to do with your husband. I don't want to hear about this barbecue. I don't want to hear about this barbecue. Okay, you weren't over at Heather's house looking at some woman who was having an affair with Terry. You know, Nicole didn't sleep with Terry. She sued Terry years ago, and that was not your business. So you did not have to bring that up. I don't want to hear nothing else about your husband at that barbecue. Okay, what I want to hear is you taking responsibility for, one, lying to Shannon and saying that you're going to keep something a secret and not. And two, for you telling Heather at the very wrong time. Not only that, Emily and Gina humiliated the mess out of Nicole. Nicole was in there crying and having a fit about the situation. You know, everybody was wrong. Nicole was wrong for not telling Heather and Terry. Shannon was wrong for being in people's business, period. Emily and Gina was wrong for the way they behaved at Heather's event. Everybody has a little piece of this blame. The only people that didn't have anything to do with this was Dr. Jen and Noella. And I would also like to say that Heather's energy is really too much sometimes. I'm not the #1 fan of Heather, and I feel that, you know, that same energy that she was giving Shannon, you know, with the text messaging and with the threat that we saw coming up in the next week's episode, I don't think she would have that same energy if you placed her in New Jersey. I really don't. Gina talking about Shannon talked behind her back. Gina, you talk about Shannon behind her back all the time. All the time. So you can't sit here and act as if you are the moral authority, because you're not. You know, you make mistakes the same way Shannon makes mistakes, the same way I make mistakes. But you can't just sit here and on this high horse and pretend that you haven't done anything wrong and that you were a true loyal friend to Shannon, because that's a lie. It seems to me that you and Emily realize that Heather is somewhat of the HBIC for the OC, and you have decided that you are going to kiss her butt, you and Emily, and throw Shannon by the wayside. That's just my opinion. Noella shows up to the lunch and she looks absolutely sad. She looks as if she has been crying the whole day. She says that she's really ticked off at him because he shut off all their credit cards. She absolutely has no money, no bank account. She doesn't have access to any other credit, and that he has always been in charge of all the money and he has completely cut her off. She also says that she doesn't understand why he's so attached to this house in Puerto Rico. They've only owned it for 7 months. And I said, first of all, girl, you've been married to him too long to not have any money, no accounts. There is no account in your name anywhere. Girl, that's 101. I'm sorry. Second, I thought, he sent you the divorce papers from Puerto Rico. He's had that house for about 7 months. He's fighting you about selling this house. It sounds like to me, he has set up a household in Puerto Rico and there's a nice young lady living there. I'm just saying, that's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. I don't have any proof of it. That's just what I'm thinking. Peeps, get down in the comments if you think there's a young lady living in the nice house in Puerto Rico. One thing I was also thinking, I said, wow, if you have no savings, no credit cards, no access to any other savings, how are you going to pay for that dirty martini you just ordered? Is that rude? Okay, I'm rude. I am truly sorry, you guys, but I was just thinking that. I said, you just sat down and ordered this drink. Do you have cash in your purse? I don't know. Anyway, I would have paid for it. All right, I would have paid for it. But, you know, I was just wondering. Anyway, you guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.